Hey, what's up guys? I'm Adam Southey and this is the Casual Fridays REI YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about land title transfers, also known as recording a deed. Before we do that though, if you like what you see, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. We're putting out new episodes each and every week to help you through your land investing journey, and you're not going to want to miss any of those. All right, so you have bought or sold a piece of land, and now you need to transfer ownership of that parcel into or out of your name. The legal document that gets this done is called the deed. Now there's a lot of different types of deeds, but for today's video, we're gonna use the warranty deed just because it is the most common one. All right, here in just a minute, I'm gonna pull up an example. I'm gonna walk you through how to fill it out. And then I'm gonna show you how to get it to the county so that you can get it recorded. There's also be some supplemental docs. I'm gonna kind of talk about some of that because some states have them, some states don't. Each state may have something different. We're gonna look through that and get you on your way. It's really easy, just stick with me, we'll get through it. All right guys, so this is an example of a pretty standard deed. Don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly like this. All the important information is here. I'm gonna show you how to fill it out. It'll be quick, easy, you'll be on your way to go. One thing I do want to point out though is that you want the information from the previous deed to match this deed exactly. And so it's pretty common practice when you're buying or selling a piece of land to have the previous deed, the one before you, that way you can copy the information exactly like it is. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna do a warranty deed today. That is the most common deed, and so that's what we're gonna use. However, if you wanted to change that, you're in charge. Just simply type it in. Let's say you wanted a special warranty deed, there you go. But we're gonna stick with warranty deed for today. So up here, you've got three things that you need to make sure are filled out. The first one is recording requested by. Now this is the person selling the property. You're going to request that the county file a new deed in someone else's name, right? So this is the seller's information. You need to put their full name, city, state, and zip. And then the second one is when recorded mail to. Because what happens is you're gonna send this information off, the county will record it, and then they will mail you back the original copies. And so they got to know where to mail it to, if that's you or your company's name or you and your company's address. Same for a tax statement. This is real estate. We got to pay property taxes. And so they need to know where to send the tax bill to. That may be separate from where you had the original deeds mailed back to. So make sure you fill that in. Now over here to the right, you'll notice there's a lot of blank space. Leave it that way. This is going to be where the county will fill in some information and they'll stamp it to make it official. Underneath that, you got the APN, this is the parcel number, the parcel ID. Go ahead and fill this in. I made this number up, but just fill in whatever your parcel ID is. And then we move on to this paragraph. Now the first sentence here, for good and valuable consideration of $10. This does not have to be how much you paid for the property. All this is saying is that some good or some valuable consideration was given in exchange for this property. So just leave that like it is. And then we move on to the grantor. Now you've got a grantor and a grantee in each transaction. The grantor is the seller. And so you want to fill in the seller's information here exactly like it is on the previous deed. That's pretty important to get. And then the grantor is conveying to you or your company's name, however you want the deed recorded, the sole ownership of the property situated in X county, X state. So for this example, I'm just going to show you, we're going to use Elko County. So you would type Elko here, Nevada here. Then we move on to the legal description. Now this describes the property in writing. And this is why it's important to have the previous deed, because you're going to copy exactly how it's written on that one right here. It may say something as simple as northwest quarter of section 375 meridian, yada, yada, yada. Or it could be a long paragraph. You just want to make sure you type it exactly. You're also going to have something similar to this. It'll say subject to, it'll talk about all the taxes, covenants, conditions, whatever. And then you'll also have this final paragraph that the grantor binds itself and successors to warrant the title against its acts and none other, right? That's it, really simple. Change out the grantor, change out the grantee. All right, really simple, right? You just fill out who's requesting that this be recorded, where to mail it to, where to send the tax statements, the APN, the grantor, the grantee, county, state, legal description. Then you're gonna have a signature page because the seller is going to have this stuff recorded because the seller is going to have this notarized. So we always do a second page. They're gonna have to fill this information out in front of the notary, but they'll date it, they'll sign it, actually change this to the seller's name, don't just leave seller's name. And then this information down here is for the notary they'll fill their information out, they'll stamp it, they'll put when their license expires, and they'll be good to go. So once that's done, the deed is complete. Now you have to send it to the recorder of the county that the land is in and have them record it, have them file it. There's a couple ways you can do this. If you're going to be buying and selling a lot of land, if you're going to go through our education, you may want to look into Simplify. You can come on here, upload your deeds, and it'll send it to the appropriate county, and it's all online. You can pay your fees online. It's a really cool tool to have in your belt. If this is just a one-off deal for you, or you're not ready to commit to something like Simplify, you got to do it yourself. No big deal. It's really easy. Previous example, we talked about Elko County. We need to send the information to the county. So all we do is go to Google, Elko County Recorder. Information comes up. Now, there will be fees associated with recording these deeds, so you need to figure out what that is. Easiest way to do that, pick up the phone and call them. You got the number here. Pick them up, give them a call, tell them you've got some deeds to record, you want to know what the fees are, they'll tell you that information, and then verify the address that they need you to send the deed to. Each county could have some supplemental documents as well. And so for example, we're talking about Nevada on this deed. Nevada has a declaration of value form. This has to be submitted with the deed for filing. They're really easy to fill out. Just walk through the steps and send this in with the deed. But every state could have one different, and some states don't have any at all. This is Colorado, the TD 1000. It's the same information, just asked differently. And same for California, the preliminary change of ownership report. Again, same questions, just asked in a different way. When you call the recorder, when you call whoever you're talking to at the county, ask if there's any supplemental docs. That way you can get that and it doesn't slow down the recording of the property. But that's basically it, guys. So once you fill out the deed, exactly like we talked about, once you get the supplemental docs filled out, you can either use Simplify to file it or contact the county recorder, find out how much your fees are, send all the information in, they'll record it, they'll send it back to you, and you're done. All right, guys, that's it for today. That was pretty painless. You should have your deed and any supplemental docs ready to be sent to the county so that you can get it recorded and have that property totally in or out of your name. As always, if you liked what you saw today, make sure you hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. It does a lot for the show and we really appreciate it. That's it. See you next week.